Hello, 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 and welcome back. We have InfinityGene here, who's going to show us Breakout. So introduce yourself and tell me whenever to start.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, I am InfinityGene, as you may have just guessed from the lovely intro as well. Thank you. So we're going to be showcasing a bit of Breakout today. If you might be a bit familiar with what Breakout might be, it's based off the older sort of like brick breaking game. There you go. It's a lot of bricks, a lot of breaking. There's a lot of balls in this game. Let's get straight into it though, and I'll explain it as we go along. So time is going to start when I click on Start New Game, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Unfortunately, thank you. Unfortunately, we are going to skip the tutorial because we don't need tutorials. We're a speedrunner. Yeah, I go straight into training again, so free time save. Time loss. Okay, so we want to go out to the main menu to Breakout because we can skip the training level. So for Breakout, we just need to get out of the prison cell. We want to break down the wall behind the blocks, and then we can get out of this initial level. So to explain the controls, basically, so you've got your paddle down at the bottom, and you have different ways of controlling it. So for now, you've got the slice paddle, which is like this straight looking one. And what we want to do is we want to use the shoulder buttons to try and curve our paddle towards the wall, which is not going according to the plan right now. There we go. And then we want to hit these 3 times and then we can leave the prison. So let's get this last one. And there we go. That's the first level done. So basically you've got the slice paddle. And you've also got the curved paddle as well. So the curved paddle is also used if you want to not use like the angles using the shoulder buttons. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try and get the ball into the gap here. That's our main focus right now. What I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to edge it ever so slightly into there, because if I do too much of an angle, then I'm going to lose my position. I'm going to do a ball reset, which is just intentionally losing the ball, just so we can reposition. And I'm going to do it again. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to just line up and then hopefully hit the fence. Because all we need to do on this level, we just need to hit the fence a few times to break out. And then that's pretty much this level done. And then we're going on to one of the more funnier levels, the wolf escape level. Which you may see in the top left corner, there is a wolf coming, we need to run. And what we have to do is it's a bit of a platformer, this one, sort of. Like it goes away from the whole brick breaking aspect and then into like an actual bit of platforming, like order scroller sort of gameplay. So what we're doing here is we're running away from the wolf, throwing balls at it, because, you know, balls... Yes, but what we want to do is just make sure not to miss any. As it gets closer, there we go. Make sure we grab this one, just line it up, and then we've got 2 more waves of balls to go. And then we've got one last one to go, and then there we go. So you might be noticing that I'm getting a new rank every time that I finish a level. So that rank is essentially our dynamic difficulty for the game. So as I complete a level, the game intentionally gets harder. And it gets harder in a couple of ways. So the game speed starts increasing because every time the ball hits the paddle, the ball starts to accelerate a little bit more. But on lower ranks, it won't accelerate as much, basically. There'll be like a max speed it'll go. So I'm just trying to get some of these power-ups as well. But I'm also trying to hit some of these glowing blocks on this level, because it'll give us a multi-ball. But sometimes it's a bit hard to maneuver the ball where you want it to go. But with skill and practice, you can certainly get it reasonably close to where you want it to be. So what we're doing here is trying to knock down the pyramid as much as possible. We're trying to collapse the pyramid at times as well. Now we've got a multi-ball. So now we do twice the damage. So the power-ups that I'm collecting here, they can be used if I need to, but they're optional. So this is a wide paddle, so it just makes it nice and wide. And then the arrow basically makes it gigantic. However, I wouldn't recommend that one because it's a shorter power-up, and it makes the paddle really slow, like so. So, that's that level done. So now we're going inside the pyramid. Into the tomb. So here, we need to basically destroy a column of blocks. Once we do that, the statues will generate like another column of blocks, but red. Every time we hit these red ones, the wall comes closer. We've got to hit 4 columns, basically, to leave the level. Because every time we do a column, it'll destroy the statue. The wall can't like come up right up close to us, it can only go to a certain distance. So it's not a big worry. You've also got a bit of protection down at the bottom if you do accidentally miss the ball, but we'll be alright. 1, 2. Right, now we can get through if I can get a gap. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Right. So now we're going into the deeper parts of the tomb. I do encourage you to watch the cutscenes if you ever play this game for sure, because they are quite hilarious. For what it's meant to be, just a puzzle sort of skill game, I guess? Puzzle strategy? No, strategy would be like an RTS, I guess. So, here we need to hit these 5 blocks in sort of succession without missing any of them. If we hit the lasers, the wall will reset. So, I'm intentionally doing ball resets just so I can get a better angle. So we do another one here. And then we do another hit there. Oops. Never mind. So as you can see here, when you hit the lasers, the current wall comes back. So let's try and do that again. Let's try and angle it a bit more this time. There we go. Right, so we're on to one more row. And then we're on to the boss. Because yes, this game has bosses, funny enough. For what is essentially a puzzle game. That's not Breakout, that's Breaking. Wow. Don't mind me, I'm just reading the chat time. So we're on to the mummy boss. So every time we hit the boss, he'll shoot a laser at us. He'll also cook us if he hits us, which slows down the pedal, as you can see. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and move out of the way if we can. And try and angle the ball just so we get a bit more time and a bit more maneuverability. However, that is not happening. Throughout the game as well, we're going to start unlocking new characters. However, we're not going to be using any of those characters because they're kind of all rubbish, for the most part. So the main character you should be playing as is Bouncer, which is the red paddle that we're playing as. Right in the distance, in the background, you can see the American paddle. The American paddle is a bigger paddle, but it's slower to move, so it's kind of not the best thing to control. But some cases it's fine. So anyway, we're just going to finish this boss off, and then we're going to go on to the next world. One more hit. Oops. So as you can see, the mummy was getting closer, the wall was also getting closer as well. Right, so now we're on to the farm, which introduces, it introduces the chicken mechanic, I'll call it, which gives us additional balls as well. But we'll be finding that out on the next level. Right now, I'm just going to angle the ball there, I think. There we go, so I can get the wolf, or the dog, or whatever you want to call this. Oh, never mind, we lost it. So what I'm trying to do there is I'm trying to herd all the sheep into the pen, and if I get the wolf/dog ball, then it'll herd them a lot quicker. Otherwise, I've got to directly hit them, which can be a little bit tricky. So let's see if I can get back into that hut on the left. If you miss the ball at any time, you'll lose some of the sheep in the pen, so you just got to be careful. If you hit the fence too many times as well at the back there, you're going to release the sheep as well. So we've got one more to go. So let's see if we can do like a wide angle. Ooh. There we go. Easy peasy. It's actually going pretty well, this run. So now we're going into the barn here, where we deal with the chickens, which are loitering around. So what we're going to do is lose a ball there, because clearly that's intentional. But what we're going to do is we want to lower down all these blocks. The blocks are the more important thing on this level, not the chickens. Now, as you can see, they spew out a plenitude of balls, but these aren't balls, these are eggs. And the problem with eggs, they're egg-shaped, so they're a bit more erratic the movement, so got to kind of catch as many as I can, really, because it's really hard to control the egg movements on this. That's why they look like they're sort of stuttering a little bit in movement, because they're rolling unequally. But yeah, pretty much just going to finish up this level. Ideally, it would be best... Oh. Well, the emulator just had a bit of a moment. Oh, never mind. But yeah, while we're finishing up this level, I'll explain the game a little bit more as well. So, this game is one of the limited amount of games that supports the PlayStation Mouse, funny enough. Now, the reason I'm not using the PlayStation Mouse, or an emulated version of that, is because the mouse controls, while they're super smooth for the movement, they're very limited on what you can do. So, you can move around left and right, and it's really clean, like it's probably the best way to control the paddle. But the problem is you can't use the tilt controls, and you can't switch between your slice and curve paddle as easily. So, that's unfortunate. I have to do this again quickly. So yeah, unfortunately, if you fail a mission, you lose a rank, and then you have to do the level again. But it's not a problem. We had a bad start, to be honest, anyway. The good news is it does make the level slightly easier as well. I'm just going to change my camera just because the camera keeps moving a little bit too much for my liking right now. So as you can see, the ball's accelerating quite a lot now because I'm hitting it so much. And now I've only got a tiny egg now. Yeah, let's lose that. Oh. But yeah, the PC controls, the mouse controls, they're not too bad. I don't know too many games that support it. I know things like Commander & Conquer support the PlayStation mouse. I didn't even know this supported it until about a week or two ago. And I was like, oh. Ooh. But then I was like, oh, when I couldn't really do much with it. Like, it was like, So, yeah, Breakout, it's based off the, as I mentioned, it's based off the old Breakout series for, like, the older computers years ago. Which was, yeah, it was a classic time back then. It was simply just an arcade game back then. And then this is just sort of like a reimagination of that old arcade game. So I'm going to try and get some more eggs if I can. Because I'm in a little bit of trouble right now. So that feather there just slows down the ball for me. That was a bit of a jump scare. There we go. I need an egg, if I can. So unfortunately, some of this gameplay is a little bit RNG based as well. I want to try and get that. Oh, damn it! Normally, I don't have problems with this level. Unfortunately, that is the case with a no reset run sometimes. Yeah, let's try and get it again. Right, so I'm going to try and get some more of these. I'm going to try and stick to the multi-balls this time, just to stick with the majority if I can. There we go. Now we've got a rhythm going. But again, it's harder to catch all of them at once because, again, with the movement, it's so, like, just all over the place. But yeah, so this was made by Atari as well. A little bit more history into the game. Atari also made Pong for the PlayStation 1, which some people might be familiar with. Which, again, was another reimagination of the classic game, Pong. Honestly, Pong was pretty good. It was a multiplayer game. Supported up to 4 people on some levels. It's hard as hell, though. Like, the minigames are quite similar to sort of this, where, like, it's based around the similar concept of just hitting balls with a paddle, but there's certain, like, minigames, one where you have to, I don't know, herd sheep again around this, like, moving, tilting platform. It's pretty cool. Right, there we go. Because we're lower on difficulty now, the blocks are breaking a little bit easier and the balls are a little bit slower this time, so we're nearly there, thankfully. Of course, we would have the perfect start and then we would have a terrible sort of farm. Come on, one more block. There we go, we got through it. Right, now we're going on to Hen Invaders, or Henvaders, which is clearly not a rip-off of Space Invaders. So on this one we've got 6 waves in total. Ignore the count that says 5, there is 6 in total. So we just want to keep going through all the waves as quickly as possible. We're trying to pick up these extra lives as well, just because we get extra ball resets if we ever need them. So they're always important to grab in any level, to be honest. Right, so we're going to try and get this last one. There we go. So eventually we're going to start getting ducks into the arena. These ducks, you've got to avoid their nasty, I guess, stinky balls, because if you get hit by one of them, your paddle's going to stand up, and your paddle can't really do much while it's stood up. So hopefully I don't have to show that off. Oh, I was trying to get that split then as well. So that blue power-up then was to multiply the balls. Okay, they're pretty close, so let's try and go for one of these. There we go. Oh, well, that'll do. I'll keep that though for now. I'm not going to use it yet. I'm trying to get this last chicken. Oh,
You have time for a quick donation?
absolutely, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we have 10 euro from Ugyu, who says, "Hi friends, good luck Gene, this game is awesome."
Thank
And
you.
he put €5 to the character name Ek for Final Fantasy character, and also put another €5 to the original soundtrack. So thank you very much for the donation.
Yeah, thank you, Ogu. Hope you're doing well today. Right, yeah, so we're getting closer and closer to the end here. We lost a bit of time on that last level, but that's fine. It's not a big issue. I'd say that's probably one of the trickier block breaker levels of the run. Because we're going to go into Castle in about 2 levels' time. Castle, it's a bit of a tricky one because of the blocks continuously respawning on that level. So, right, we've got 2 waves to go. Let's get rid of these. You've also got to be careful when you're using these power-ups, because sometimes the ball can just clip through the paddle. Like, it will just go through it. And that's one of the issues with this game. So, some of the glitches on the game, sometimes when entering a level, the game can just eject you out and send you to, like, the first level again. Oh, there we go, got hit by a stinker. And that doesn't usually happen in runs, it usually happens when you finish the game and try to access a level. But, obviously, I wouldn't take any risks. So I've got backups just in case that happens. Trying to get these last 2. There we go. So now we're going to intentionally de-rank ourselves for this level, just to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to fall into the water. Whoops. 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 I'm going to do it again one more time. So normally we would de-rank ourselves like 3 times here, but because we already de-ranked a couple times on one of those previous levels, then we'll be fine. So we're going to stay on Expert just so we can get these ducks into the water straight away. This platform is very slippery, I know. It's not my fault that I'm falling in. Surely this controller gets stuck. Yes, absolutely. So we're just going to knock these ducks into the water, because they're trying to knock us into the water, which we don't want to really go back into the water again at this point. These, well, they're referred to as demented ducks, basically, in the game. Which, yeah, I'm not surprised if they're just charging into me, to be honest. There we go. Get this one in. There we go. Eventually we're going to get some giant ducks coming in, which are a little bit more tough to get in. Like this one here. So what we're going to do is bait them to the edge, and then, whoops, bait them to the edge, if I can, without them pushing us in, and then we push them in. Just got to be careful, because if you go head on with these, it's unlikely you're going to push them in. So you want to just circle around and bash them in. That's usually the best way to deal with them. The lower the difficulty as well on this level, the lower the difficulty as well, the easier it is to get them in as well. Because your knockback is increased, basically. Ah, come on. Come on, duck. Come on, get in. There we go, thank you. Right, I've only got 1 life left, so I'm going to have to watch out here. But yeah, we've got like a few waves of this as well, so we're nearly done with this level. Trying to get rid of these before the next spawn comes in, because eventually the tiny spawn will come in. Get in, thank you. But yeah, so after this we've got 1 more level, which is going to be a bit of a revisit of a previous level that we've done already. But yeah, going back to the glitches, so your paddle can sometimes clip the ball, so you can just instantly lose the ball without no fault of your own. And that's probably one of the worst things to happen, especially if you've only got 1 life left on some levels. Oh, gotta watch out for him. Get in, thank you. No, what are you doing? No, don't go around, just push him in. Thank you. Oh. Right, we're done. Now, I know that everyone loved the wolf chase from earlier, and now we're going to do it again. Except it's a little bit different this time. Still got to throw some balls at the wolf, unfortunately. Yeah, you can actually avoid the wolf attack if you swerve at the last second, but I wouldn't recommend it. Like that. I just thought I'd show it off, just a little bit. So now we switch perspective to avoid these blocks. Pretty much if you hit a block, you're dead, so you want to make sure not to hit any. And then the camera will eventually change. You've got to be ready for that camera change, because sometimes it can catch you out, and you can crash straight away into a box. It's going to change here. So if you don't know the timing for that, you're just going to get hit and you have to do the level all over again. And then this is like a mixture of ball throwing and avoiding blocks. Blocks, balls, paddles. That's what the game's all about. So we also collected Magnus then. Magnus is the magnetic paddle. Now, magnetic paddle, that sounds like a cool thing to use. It's considerably not the best thing to use in this game because it's got like a magnet that's constantly active, and it's like it's pulling the ball towards you sometimes, and then sometimes it's not, and it's like you just don't know where it's going to go, so it's not really worth going for. So now we're going on to nighttime. So here we're going to try and knock the knights into the water. There's two ways to deal with these knights. We can either bash them into the water on the sides, or we can charge into the back of them, and then they'll charge into us. So like if I show this angle here, see if I can get some. So you can just go into the back of them like that. Now, you've got to be careful when they're charging into you, because if they touch you, you're going to get squashed. And a squashed paddle cannot collect any balls. So you essentially just lose a life, basically. So this level can take about 1-2 minutes for sure. It just depends on the difficulty you're on. The lower the difficulty, the more likely they're going to charge straight into you. So the highest rank you can be on this game is Superstar, and that's when the game is at its hardest difficulty. The lowest is Beginner. You can actually choose your difficulty anytime you want as well. Like if you go to the training level and you do the training level again, you can actually just choose what starting rank you want to be, which is pretty cool, to be honest. Oh, there's one. So this level's going pretty alright. Oh. Just got to watch out for him. Yeah, so this level can definitely be one of the longer levels, but there's some longer ones going inside, which we need to deal with, and you'll get to see those in a moment. But we should be able to blast through them with the new fireball that we're going to be using. It's like a ball ability that you can get. Get this last one. I'm going to maybe ball reset for this one. Please don't move. Oh, come on. Is he going to move again? There we go. Okay, now we're inside the castle. So now we're here. We're going to immediately try and duplicate a ball if we can. Oh, get just jump scared by that, so let's quickly reset. Oh. Yeah, the power-ups just like to get in the way sometimes, and because they're classed as a block, they bounce the ball as well. So, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get inside these doors here so I can get some multi-balls. Come on, just get me in. Please get in the room. There we go. So I just want to get some more balls if I can, really, just because it's a little bit quicker to deal with these. So this power up here is one that we'll probably never use. It basically flicks the ball. So like, you know, pretend you're flicking like a marble with your finger. It's kind of like that. Like that. It's really useless because you have no control with the ball, basically. I'd like to try and get that if I could. But what I'm trying to do mostly is I'm trying to get the balls behind the wall if I can. Because I'm trying to get it up the stairs where that dragon is, and that dragon will turn the ball into a fireball. Ah. Emulator slowdown again, lovely. Why does it always happen when I'm doing my Themeathon runs? Oh. Because it happened during my Rugrats run as well. But that's the emulator. That's emulation. Because, yeah, running this game on console, I think it does suffer from some drops as well, so... I'm still waiting for my run to get verified for this as well. It's been waiting for like a month now. But, it's fine. I still run the game regardless. Right, we got the fireball now. So this will go through blocks. So I'm going to try and get these blocks there, and it's going to go back up the stairs straight away. Trying to get these last ones here. So essentially we've got to do 3 levels of this exact level pretty much, with slight differences basically. Trying to get through here. Come on. These last ones can be a problem, because the knights are probably the worst part on this level in particular, just because they're always in the way. There we go. But when you've got more balls, they can't dodge them all, so... Right, 2 more to go if I can. 1 more. There we go. Okay, so now we're going on to essentially phase 2 of this level. Phase 2 is where these goblins will keep trying to rebuild. You can stop them from rebuilding if you destroy them, but for the most part, you kind of got to wait this level out a little bit. Sometimes you can get lucky though and destroy them all quickly enough, but again, that's an RNG thing. Again, it's more like... It'll depend on where the ball's going to be going at that point in time, really. So, I'm going to try and get the fireballs as much as possible. I'm going to also knock them down as well, just so I can stop them bringing additional ones at any time. So you can see it's nearly done, and then now they brought in another 8 blocks. So, but they will stop bringing them eventually, because the game is not going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to just keep doing this forever. Because that wouldn't be fair. So, because you would never do this level if that's the case. So we're going to just try and keep stalling them if we can. Like, I got a double there, that's pretty good. Going to try and angle the ball there. I might even get lucky here. Nearly. They brought in another stack. Thankfully, they're only stacking them vertically, so I can just easily go through them with a fireball. There's another fireball incoming. So every time I use a fireball, I'm always going to get another one straight away, just because of my angles right now. Oh, it's close. They brought in more. Like I said, they'll stop eventually, but as long as I can keep just destroying them, it'll be fine. And then we're on to another phase, basically, this level. Third phase is a lot quicker than the other two. You can do it in like 30 seconds if you're pretty quick. Right, they look like they might have stopped now. Okay, it looks like they've stopped bringing them now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to finish up these blocks here. Like I said, I rarely use the kickback power-up, but sometimes it's got some use. Just speeds up the ball a little bit, so... One more, come on. Just going to switch to my curve paddle if I can. There we go. Okay, so now on this third phase, they're going to throw fireballs at us, but the wall is a little bit short this time. So if they get a ball to the other side, they're going to launch it at us. Like so. If they hit us, we slow down, so we want to try not to get hit. So this lightning bolt power-up is one of the worst in the game. It's not even a power-up, it's kind of like a debuff if I use it. So basically if I press X now, it's going to shrink my paddle. Which I'm not going to show off. In fact, I'll show it off a bit there. There you go. Teeny tiny paddle. I could show it off then because I was waiting for the fireball, to be honest, so... but yeah, it's a strange one why they give you that power-up, like, as a thing you can select to use. Like, it has no use. I mean, I think it slightly increases your speed, but it's like, you wouldn't want to play like that, to be honest, so... Let's just ball reset here. Let's ball reset again. It's just quicker to do it this way. And then we're done with this level. So that one's a lot quicker. Now into another sort of platformer style level. So here we need to jump over obstacles and duck under them. If you miss one obstacle, you have to do the section again. So, and again, your difficulty at the time determines how long this section lasts. So, and then we're on to the dragon boss, which is at the top of the castle. As a kid, this level was really a big problem because you have to time it like as close as possible. Fun fact as well, if you use one of the other paddles, which some of them are smaller in the game, you're still going to get hit by the logs on the top, even though the hitbox doesn't look like it's going to hit. It's a visual thing, I think, at the end of the day. So, right, onto the dragon boss. So the dragon boss, pretty simple. We use blocks. So that's the main part of the game, block breaking. So we get a block and we throw it at it. Trying not to get cooked by the dragon, because that will slow us down. Ideally, you don't want to get hit anyway, because if you do get hit, you're likely to get sort of semi-soft locked in, or like, it's not soft locked, but like stun locked, I guess. That's the word I'm looking for. Mainly because, come on, pick up a block. Thank you. Mainly because the dragon's breath, it's kind of like a persistent attack. So when it hits you, the longer it hits you for, the more damage it's going to deal, but the more stun duration you're going to get as well. So that's why I'm trying to not get hit at all if I can, just trying to move out of the way. So now I'm going to get stunned a little bit longer there. So I'm going to, there we go. So I'm just going to watch out a little bit because we're nearly done. There we go. One more. Nice. The kids love watching this game and don't want to nap now. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Right, we're on to the factory now, onto Crate Run, which is another sort of platformer style level. So here we need to throw balls at the blocks, like always, but except this time we're going to hop to the balls, while the conveyors are slowly moving. We've got to also watch out for the TNT blocks as well here. Now, again, going back to the mouse controls, this level controls differently when you use the PlayStation mouse. It is like moving a cursor. So it's super smooth. It's probably not the easiest to control, I would say, in my opinion. Just because, like, smooth movement on here, I don't know, it feels like you have less control, because it's too smooth, I would say. So I'm just going to go into the side there, grab that. So my, when I was growing up as well, so I did play this game growing up, two places. My cousin had this game, and my grandma. But my grandma didn't really play it, it was more like their grandchildren played it pretty much all the time. So we did the playthrough for her, and it was nice. We did Crash Twinsanity as well, because I was like, why has my gran got Twinsanity? I mean, hey, maybe she's pretty good at Twinsanity, but it's all good though. It's fun. Gaming's definitely a big part of my life for sure in terms of like family history. Right, we're on to the next level, onto the sort of pipe puzzles. These levels are pretty straightforward. This one here, we just got to destroy all these blocks, the glass ones. Well, they're all glass, I guess. The less transparent ones, there you go. So we just need to lower these pipes down. You can't break the blue pipes at the top, so you're fine. So this one's just an introduction to just how it would work, and then the next levels are a little bit more, a little bit different. Right, so one more. Perfect. So that was no mistakes, eh? Cool. So on this one here, it's going to give you a little bit of a different like pipe direction. So here you want to do this one. And then I'm going to ball reset. And I'm going to go angle there. I'm going to try angle again. There we go. And then I do this one. And then do it again. There we go. And then you go on to the next one. So these levels are really quick. Like, I'd say Factory is probably one of the quicker worlds to deal with. So here we are going to go here. I'm going to ball reset. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to do it again. And that's done. So that's 3 levels already done straight away. And now we're on to the sort of... It's like the prelude to the boss here. So this boss here will block any balls that we try and aim towards the wall. But if we basically hit the ball in one direction and bait the paddle to the other side, he won't go for the ball. So you've got to be careful on this one specifically, because the ball, again, can clip through the paddle if it goes too much of a steep angle into the paddle. So that's why I'm trying to make sure that my paddle doesn't like do any like really curvy shots. But yeah, we're trying to get behind the wall if we can, just so we can grind out all those blocks. That is essentially a trick, well, not a trick, but it's a thing you would do in any Breakout game like that. Ow, that kind of hurt. So we're going to try and do that again. We're nearly done already. Just got to watch out for the laser. This level's actually gone really well, which I'm quite surprised at. Because this level can be a problem. For sure. Sweet. There we go. And now we're onto the boss. So we're catching up pretty much with everything. So here, you just want to hold up, or hold down on the D-pad, and then just keep firing. You'll get the boss eventually. It's probably one of the easier bosses to deal with, for sure. Just got to watch out for the laser attack, that's all. And then, essentially, this world is pretty much done. And then we're moving on to the final world. There we go. Right, so now we're moving into space now. We've got all our friends. We're going to fuel fast. Because to get into space, we need a rocket. And to get into a rocket, well, to use a rocket, we need fuel. And to get fuel, we're going to have to lower these lovely toxic barrels down lower and lower. So what we do is we alternate between each of these. I'm just going to switch to the curve paddle, probably. And we just need to keep lowering it down, lower and lower, until it's down to the ground. It's got to make sure that it doesn't over-tilt, because if it does, it's going to fall down, and then we're going to lose a life. So you lose a life either by losing the ball, or if a barrel basically hits the ground. So if you hit the middle, it slightly goes up again. Sometimes it's not a bad thing to do that, because it does reset the positions. So here I'm going to just let the ball run. I'm not going to do any angles there. Now I'm going to try and do a steep angle up there. I'm going to do it again. Nearly done with this level. Again, this is where you definitely use the angles most, for sure. Went up a bit more, that's fine. I'm going to do a steep to the left. I'm going to let it run. And then I'm going to correct it by doing left angle. Oh, one more. There we go. Alright, now we're going on to the rocket, where we need to avoid the asteroids hitting the engines. So here you just need to keep sliding back and forth. And pretty much the balls are essentially the asteroids in this one. So some asteroids will break the moment that it hits the paddle, some of them will split up. When they split up, that's important because obviously we want to hit the other asteroids. For the most part, this level is scripted as long as you understand like what you're doing with certain asteroids. Like you'll always hit the same asteroids every time. So there's going to be a point where I need to use the angles on my paddle to angle the asteroid into another one. Otherwise it's going to guarantee a hit on the engine. So you've got 5 engines. If you lose an engine, then you're fine. The other thing as well is once you lose that engine, the asteroids can't hit that section anymore. So that's kind of a good thing. So we're going to angle to the right a bit. And then we're going to angle to the right again. There we go. So we're getting close to the next boss of the game. So after this, there's only 2 more levels to go. So we're nearly done. Whoops. So as you can see, I lost 1 engine there. So here we're just going to stay in the middle. It'll destroy everything. And then here we're just going to hit this one. So sometimes trying to judge where the asteroids are going to be is kind of a bit tricky. So you basically want to go all the way to the right or the left sometimes. And that will help out a bunch. So nearly done. A couple more asteroids to go. There we go. Now we're going on to Missile Madness, which is the boss fight against the main villain of the game, Batnik. Oh, Batnik, sorry. So here we want to send rockets to his side. He's going to do the same as well. To begin with, we can send a single rocket. Now we're going to have to send 2 rockets, otherwise he's got a high chance to dodge. Sometimes he doesn't dodge it, so it depends on what he's doing at that time. Because his focus is still going to be on making rockets. If he misses the ball, his rockets reset as well, so same rules apply for him as well. So we've got 3 there, we'll send those. Now we're going to try and send 5 if I can. Oops. See, as you can see there, he dodged that then. It's possible to hit him with just one, but the more you have, the more guarantee you're going to get a hit on him. Just a little bit patient on this one. Oops. Again, if you get hit, you're going to slow down. That's 5. And you lose 6. 5 or 6 will work, but ideally if I can get 6, that'll be good. Oh, damn it. So unfortunately, if you do lose the ball, your rockets, even if they're in midair, you lose them. So, and then we go back to making more rockets. Let's try and angle it a little bit steeper this time. There we go. Maybe that might work. Yeah, nice. 4 will work. 4 will work just fine. Oh, look, the credits. Hey, we did it. Yay, you know, hey, that's the end of the game. Yes, of course it is. Or is it? Hmm? You know, it went straight into the credits here, and that's it, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. But wait, I believe there is one more level coming. As we see Batnix running away from the lovely bouncer. So the plot of this game is that... I never really explained the plot of the game. Basically, our girlfriend Daisy got stolen by Batnix, and now we have to rescue her by playing original Breakout now. So yes, nearly there. This is the final level as well, so... The game pranked us, said it was nearly done, and then, no it's not. So I'm just going to change the camera, because having a moving camera on this is a little bit tricky. So yeah, this is pretty much a clone of classic Breakout. This is what the original game was always about. It was always about an arcade sort of game where you'd get more points for just breaking more blocks. That was pretty much it. So on this one here, specifically, the higher coloured blocks, so like the pink, red ones, they'll speed up the paddle a lot more when we hit them. But if we hit a lower colour afterwards, it'll slow it down. What we're trying to do here is trying to get in between everything and try and grind that top row. So let's see if we can get it. So just got to get it into the top and then we're fine. Sometimes it is a bit tricky. But because we have to still do these bottom ones anyway. We lost the ball. That's fine. Like I said, this is probably still pretty tricky because you've got no angle control or anything. It's just playing the game as you normally would. Oops. Actual Breakout, indeed. So I'm going to try and get it up there if I can. Let's go full screen. There we go. Oh, that's better. Look at that. When it's up there, it just feels amazing, just like seeing them all get broken up. But yeah, as this run starts to wrap up as well, overall, like, Breakout, it's a silly game. It's different. It looks like it's just going to be a standard puzzle game, but there's a lot more involved in it. Some levels can go on a little bit too long, I'd say. In terms of difficulty as well, like I said, it's got a dynamic difficulty, so even if you struggle on some levels, you can easily just do the level again and it'll be easier every time. But yeah, no, it's a game that I recently learned, because I wanted to do this one specifically, because it's silly enough, but it's also kind of like a take on my sort of childhood again. Like, I grew up with these original, like, sort of arcade games. I'm not saying that I'm like 47 years old or anything, good God no, but I'm only 29, please. But like, you know, these games are certainly more close to me than, say, what's the latest games these days? Elden Ring or whatever they are. Like, I'm not really into stuff like that personally. I don't mind watching it, just not really bothered about playing sort of modern games because there's so much classic games basically happening in the past. So, right, got 2 more blocks to go. Hopefully I don't miss. And time is going to be the moment I hit that last block. So, time. And now you get to watch the beautiful ending. Bouncer, my hero. Daisy, my sweetheart. Oh. Oh, adorable. Oops, I think I'd better go now. Now we have you, Batnix. So yeah, you got different paddles. You've got the sort of army paddle, the American paddle, the French fry paddle, the magnet paddle. Batnix has been defeated, and this is the best death scene for any villain in anything ever. There you go, tiny explosion at the end. So yeah, I just want to wrap that up by saying thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do appreciate it. I had a couple levels early on which were a bit tricky again because we had to reset twice for those. But hey, we're underestimate, so... And that's why time for this game can be a bit up and down. Like, it just depends on how the ball is acting up sometimes. So, yeah. Everyone's having a party now around the bonfire. And, yeah, DJ is rocking out over there. And other than that, I just want to wrap it up and say thank you for having me. And hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.